The beauty of physical evidence is that it tells a story. We look at the firearm, we look at the blood, there were cartridges left behind, projectiles were found within the toilet. Physical evidence cannot lie.
Today, what the neighbours heard was once again the focus of the Oscar Pistorius trial in the Pretoria High Court. The athlete had lived in a secure estate, surrounded by people, all of whom have their version of what woke them in the early hours of February the 14th, 2013.
Actually, I was woken up by my wife, who told me that she had a bang.
This morning was the turn of immediate neighbour Michael Ntlengetwa. Of all the neighbours to have given testimony so far, his home is the closest to Oscar's.
You can point with your finger where your house is.
This house here, number 287.
And we see a sign and a red arrow. It says Oscar's house.
Yes.
You never heard anybody scream?
In terms of screaming, it depends how one understands it. But for me, I said I heard a man that was crying very loud.
Having followed the case, I heard Michelle Berger giving evidence that she heard blood-curdling screams of a woman.
Yes, I heard that. I heard that evidence, my lady.
You never heard that?
We didn't hear that.
It is the defense case that if you hit a door with a bat, with a cricket bat, it may sound like a gunshot. I mean, you followed it, you know that that's their version, am I right?
I heard that.
And it's also the defense case that the door was broken down, at least 3 blows with a bat. But you never heard any of those 3 blows.
Obviously, as is mentioning that I'm following the case, yes, I do. But obviously, I gave my statement based on what I've heard, my lady. But in terms of the other banks, I didn't hear those things, my lady.
Thank you, Brad. Thank
you very much.
If there was at the same time, during that same time, a woman screaming very loud, would you have heard it?
At that time when I heard that man that was crying, I would have heard that, definitely.
The next witness was Michael Ntlengetwa's wife, Euntle, who chose to speak in Setswana and also asked not to be televised.
Now, did something wake you up during the early hours of the morning?
My lady.
Yes, my lady.
What was it?
A sound, bam, is the water puts it, my lady.
Bang.
Bang, yes.
Was it loud?
Yes, it was a very loud sound because it woke me up whilst I was sleeping.
Mrs. Ntlengetwa then demonstrated the crying she heard.
But in the voice of a man.
You never heard a woman scream?
Yeah.
No.
Despite an early tea break, the defence's witness woes continued, with another neighbour not having arrived at court. Barry Roo told the judge this lapse would not delay proceedings. Eventually, Mrs. Mutswane arrived at court and also declined to appear on camera. She said she was woken to the sound of a man crying.
There was some event that caused you to wake up.
I heard a man crying. And to me, the cry, my lady, it was a cry of pain. Immediately, I woke my husband up. We were just panicking. We were all frightened.
Yeah, when I consulted with you, I asked you if you can just make resemble that noise what you heard.
The crying was like,
She testified she didn't hear a woman screaming.
You said if you heard a lady scream, you would have reflected that in your statement.
Yes, my lady.
When you made your statement, things were still very fresh in your memory. But remember it well.
Yes, my lady.
I've nothing further.
After a brief cross-examination, Mrs. Mutwane was excused and court was adjourned until Thursday because of Election Day tomorrow. With all the public holidays over, hopefully the court's time will be better spent.